Hello and welcome to another Fantasy Friday. I'm your host, Tisha May, and this might be the review that finally does me in. You guys, there there are so many things wrong with this film. Look, as I've mentioned in previous reviews, I don't have an issue with adaptations, not necessarily. I think one of my least favorites is Harry Potter 3, but we can talk about that another day. This one even beats that one, I think, now, after watching it again, as my least favorite adaptation of one of my favorite novels. And that is saying something. I'm talking about, of course, the final in my Meg Cabot installment, Avalon High, which was actually released by Disney Channel as a Disney Channel original movie back in 2010. Well past my prime years of watching Disney Channel, and I probably shouldn't have been watching it, but it was Meg Cabot, and I have to support whatever has her name on it. That was my first mistake. Avalon High, if you don't know, is a reinterpretation of the story of King Arthur. Now, there are many retellings of Arthur, whether it's the TV show Merlin, the miniseries Merlin with Sam Neill as the titular character, the Sword in the Stone, and many more. King Arthur, which had Keira Knightley, just so many adaptations. So there's no shortage of it. It's like Robin Hood or Peter Pan. It's something that's been around for so long that everybody wants to have their hand and chance at trying to tell the story. Not surprising because it is an interesting one. It has everything that anyone could possibly want, whether it's love or swordmanship or just medieval times, some period piece in there. It has everything. You really can't beat it as far as storytelling goes. But how can you mess that up? Now, looking back on the story, it's not exactly the best adaptation, but it is a fun one where this girl, Ellie, not Allie, make note of that, by the way. Ellie is traveling to, it makes her way to Annapolis, which that's not where they're at, by the way, in this interpretation. I grew up in Baltimore, Annapolis area. That ain't it, okay? And she goes to Annapolis. Her parents are like in this professors of medieval literature, and they're there to study this ancient sword at a museum. So they have to have the rights to that, and they're studying that. So that's why they're there. They have a sabbatical. She runs track. She gets to know people. She meets this guy Will, and he is supposedly the reincarnation of King Arthur. He's dealing with all this stuff that Arthur was dealing with back in his Camelot days. And it does turn out, spoilers in this video, that he is the reincarnation of King Arthur. It's very interesting. It's very powerful. His brother Marco actually does try to attack Mr. Moore, the teacher, the English teacher, and and gets expelled from the school. So he's not actually in school with them. So right from the get-go, we had a new character, Miles, who isn't in the story. Instead, she had some friends she made on the track team. And Miles is a completely original character to the Disney Channel movie. Although, okay, that's one thing they did okay. He had some good lines.
Oh yeah, when I'm at Yale and you're in jail, I'll be sure to tell everyone how cool you are.
I'll give him that. But this it's hard to watch this film. Greg Sulkin, who was famous for at the time for doing Wizards of Waverly Place. Now you may recognize him from Awkward. He not Awkward Faking It, the other one, the not Awkward Faking It. He on MTV. he does not hide his British accent that well. He's really trying and struggling to hide the British accent, and it's kind of bad actually.
Pest control problem.
Then I guess we better get rid of the pests. Dude, you're ruining the party.
Need your little goons to save you from the scary candy bugs?
No, I need them to stop me from doing something I'll regret.
And the guy, Steve Valentine, is not actually British, but he's from Scotland originally. But he does have a British accent in pretty much everything else he does for the Disney Channel, whether it's I'm in the Band or Wizards of Waverly Place, the movie. So he was actually the perfect choice for Mr. Moore because he did a really good English accent. Except that he doesn't have it in this because, of course, the twist ending. Jesus Christ. So the film surprised me because as much as they went off book, and it went off book a lot, it stuck pretty close to it at the base, at the core. Will had to go through so much stuff, whether it was arguing with his teammates or it was, talking to Ellie about his dreams that he couldn't confess to everybody else, running in the woods. Okay, it's not the park at Annapolis, but whatever. Whether it's, Marco just being a bully, whether it's just all of that, it was very true to form. So while it was annoying and while it was like, oh my gosh, this does not fit, it at least followed the book at the core. So initially, I wasn't too afraid for this film. And the teacher was really sweet and was really awkward and, was clearly interested in being in all the books and all the stories and everything that he could get. And it made sense because he was in the Order of the Bear in the book. So it was like, oh, okay, he's so excited to see the book that Allie brings him. That makes sense. It's so cool that he gets to enact with this girl whose parents are scholars, and while the Jen and Lance stuff is really played down, it's a little more mature in the book. And you definitely see a lot more than just like some kisses on the cheek and lean-ins where it's implied that they're gonna kiss or that they have been kissing, but you really don't actually see them kiss or anything. It's a lot of implications in the film as opposed to in the book where it's very in your face. She literally walks in on them and it's actually a pool party, so like she's in her bathing suit and it's like, whoa, adult. So I was not surprised that Disney Channel changed that. But poor Will had to go through all that, and he's not King Arthur. Like, he has to go through all the stuff that King Arthur goes through, but he's not actually King Arthur. He's just a knight in shining armor. And then it's like, okay, so if you're going to do reincarnation, why make him go through all that? And then, okay, spoiler, like the teacher says to
Possible, you can't be.
Ta-da. Surprise ending.
Ellie, who is now named Allie Pennington, which could be Arthur Pendragon, that should have been my first clue, was King Arthur the whole time. She has no relationship to the teacher, so it's basically chopping away everything that's the base of like King Arthur legend and saying, nope, just get rid of it and it doesn't exist and she's just King Arthur because girl power. I'm all for girl power. I really am. I enjoy a good girl power movie. Go watch Halloween Town. But this is not girl power. This is, we're gonna poop not only on someone's novel, but we're gonna poop on classic literature as well. That's really hard to do. I mean, you're adapting an adaptation. How do you do that? Like, it's insulting and it's upsetting as someone who likes King Arthur and as someone who likes this book, that people actually look at this and think this is a good novel, good movie, because it genuinely isn't. Like, the acting is subpar at best. It's painful to watch, especially the parents. Like, you would think the adults would be a little bit better. No, the adults in this are awful. It's very Disney Channel, where okay, once these kids grow up a little bit, some of them go on to do some really good stuff and they're more mature and they can actually really emote. And some of them, you watch back some of the shows and you're like, this person couldn't act ever. And I was watching this and I'm like, can this person act? Now Greg Saul can act, and so do some of the other actors are really good, but in this one they just were not good actors. And that's disappointing, honestly, because it's so much you could work with this story. So many different aspects. Oh my gosh, I could go on for hours about this. I didn't get, like, there's so many problems. So one, how do the parents know about Will? I know that he is, a all-state football player, but is it all country football player, nationals? Like, has he gone to nationals? And they kind of saw some of his stuff, but they wouldn't know the personal stuff. So why would they be inclined to come there? Two, why would Marco have to be a jerk for him to, protect Will? Three, why is the teacher waiting for so long and making sure that he's King Arthur? He could have just destroyed him at any time, made him stay after school, and then been like, boom, you're dead. It's simple. Four, if Allie is Arthur, what does that mean? Her and Jen should be together or something? That doesn't make sense. Five, why does the forest look like the enchanted forest, like the evil forest in the 10th Kingdom miniseries? Six, why does she run so funny, but she apparently runs quicker than like anybody and almost beat records during her tryouts? How does Miles even see things? And it doesn't make sense. And 8, how dare you even mention the fact that he thought...
Impossible. I thought maybe you could be the lady of the lake. Maybe.
When that's who Allie was originally supposed to be. How dare you? You think that saying, ooh, surprise ending was bad enough? Jeez. That's just, like, that's the big insult to anybody who's actually a fan of this book. Like, talk about a slap in the face. Did Meg Cabot see this? Because I think if she had, she probably would have sued. I know I would. Meg, next time you want to auction off your story or whatever you have to do to get a screenplay written, just contact me. Just DM me. You follow me on Twitter. I'd be happy to work on a screenplay of one of your novels. I've read all of them. Yes, I'm a huge fan. And would be happy to work on a screenplay that fits your novelization and works for a movie. Don't trust Disney anymore. You already saw that with the Princess Diaries, and you gave them this to work on a Disney Channel original movie. Look, sometimes you get some good ones. Few and far between, like Xenon, Halloween Town, and what have you. And then sometimes you get stuff like this that can't even follow the adaptation. It's an adaptation of an it's an adaptation of an adaptation. Follow it. Because it's already being adapted. It's just... It makes me so sad. And it hurts. And this is a really long video because it is so painful. You guys don't even know. This was one of my favorite novels growing up when it came out. It was very good. It was interesting. It made you think. And it was such a good interpretation. Read that. Read One and Future King. Go see Camelot. Even watch Mighty Python. That's even more, you know, truthful to this than this schlock of a film. Okay. No hate to the actors, except maybe I hope you got better. I haven't really seen y'all in much. I'm sure you've been in stuff, but I'm not really paying attention. But I'm sure you got better. And oh, good God, guys, this really hurt. What do you guys think about the film? Have you read the book? Have you watched the film? Do you want me to do other Disney Channel original films? Is there any other book to film adaptations you want me to talk about? Like I said, I could go on for hours about book 3 on Harry Potter as well. Look forward to seeing you next week. Make sure to follow all the links below for my social media to see what I'm up to and what videos I'll be working on. And follow my personal YouTube channel for my Disney podcast, where I post Disney news and Disney trivia every week as well. I look forward to seeing you next Friday for another Fantasy Friday. Have a fantastical weekend. Bye.